Hi everyone, it's Chef Yetti. If you are one of those chefs that you look at the bowl of rice and you say, you eyeball it, you give it a good eyeball, you look around and you say, I think this is going to cost you £4, this video is for you. You will be very broke if you carry on that way. If you're trying to find out how to price the items on your menu, join me on the inside whilst I talk you through how you go about it. Okay, let's go. So hi everyone, I'm Chef Yetti of Yetti's Kitchen, and today I'm going to be demystifying the mystery around getting your menu items right, what to do, what not to do, mistakes that I've made. I'll be sharing them with you. When I started out my restaurant around about 2 years ago, and before that I was selling food from home, which is I had my restaurant but I was running it from home in my kitchen back in Milton Keynes. And now we're based in Manchester, which is an actual restaurant where you can walk in, but thanks to COVID it's no longer a walk-in. And then I thought to myself, what was the point of moving away from home then? Maybe I should have just kept it as a home-run restaurant. But anyway, that's a conversation for a different day. So because I run my courses on Udemy, I offer mentoring classes, I offer consulting for business people who want to start up a business or they want to start up a restaurant business. I get this question a lot, which is, how do I price my items? How do I price my website? If you're a website developer, how do you price something that's creative, something that's in your brain? You know, how do you go about it? But I can help you with that. So today I've got your typical English items, I've got your African items, which can sometimes be very difficult because, as you can imagine, just a single bowl of Jell-O Fries has at least 16, 17 spices in them, 17 ingredients in it, and it becomes a bit cumbersome on how exactly do you price this, you know, how without coming to a loss. So usually when you sell a bowl of Jell-O Fries and you're selling it at £7, just the bowl without any meat, people are like, it's not just ordinary rice. May you not run a loss, because all the stress you give all restaurant owners because you can cook it yourself doesn't mean that you can cook it in mass. But anyway, that's a conversation for a different day. So today I'm going to be going with your typical English items, which is your typical chips. I'll tell you how you go about pricing that, how you go about pricing your Jell-O Fries or any other menu items. I've got puff as well. I'll be talking you through how you go about pricing your puff as well, which is fondly called dumplings as well. So first things first, I'll put my gloves on because I'm going to be touching some food. Yep, get my gloves on and then we run you through this. So first things first is you must remember that it's not just about pricing the items on your menu. Your packaging makes a huge difference in your profit and your loss. You might be thinking, that's a mashup fry box. Yes, it's a mashup one because I had to cover the brand name, because if you know, you know. If you know, you know. You know this brand box. It's the famous colors that we all love. And I obviously bought something from them, and I obviously don't want their brand in this video just in case I don't want to get sued for nothing. So got the name covered, and now I can talk about their fry box. So there's a lot to do with pricing your items, and there's a lot to do with packaging. Don't ever think it's just pricing my items. The right packaging could help you save a lot of money. And I'll say that again, the right packaging could help you save a lot of money. So if you look at this typical fry box, it's a medium fry box. If I were you, a typical fry bag, a bag of fries, chips, if you're in England, it's chips. A typical fry bag typically costs about £4 if you're buying it from the retailers. Obviously I buy wholesale, so it's a lot cheaper for me. But if you're buying a typical fry bag, and I've got my phone here because I'm terrible at maths, so I've got my phone here to help me calculate and just to help you see how I go about thinking. The typical medium fry box and a fry bag, right? I'm going to put some pictures here if I have the energy to edit and put pictures. So a fry bag on this side, a fry box on this side. So what I would do if I were you is I'll even leave it. Let's leave it down on the inside. Let's leave that bit down. And I would literally, the whole fry bag, I'll put the fries in. Just to see how many medium boxes of this can I get out of my fry bag. If my fry bag cost me £4, how many medium boxes can I get out of it? And obviously you could go further by doing some more research to say how many of the small meals, you know, the small meals that they serve to children at this brand. Yes, get that as well. Find out the small fry bag. How many can you get out of a fry bag? So obviously, ideally, I'll probably say 16 of the medium ones. And then the question is 16. I'm going to take off my gloves because I need to calculate at this point. So 16, let's calculate it. So we're going to be talking about 4 pounds divided by 16 medium fry boxes would mean it's 25 pence. Ooh, I don't want to glare on that. Yeah, it's about 25 pence per medium fry box, right? And not just that, I will show you another trick. So it's not just about filling the medium fry bag, the medium fry box. You also need to bear in mind that there are a few tricks to help you save. So typically a handful, obviously you're not going to be using your hand, you're going to be using the fry, whatever it's called, right? So you put this in, but you're not going to fill it all the way up. Can you see it's halfway through? But by the time I push this thing on the bottom, right? By the time I push it up, it makes it look like the fry box is really full. You're right, that's what I'm looking for. It makes it look like the fry box is really full because I pushed this on the inside. Those are the little tricks that help. When this is now in your box, of meal box, you'll think this is really full. Literally, you think this is really full, but it's not full. If I push it down and I get rid of the perforation at the bottom, bruh, it's empty. It's empty. And you'd be like, oh no, I can't do that to my customers. Oh, I can't do that. Bruh, the pandemic we do. Meaning, we're in the middle of the pandemic, and even before the pandemic, that much of fries is literally half of this box that you'd be saving. So you're charging the customer about £2 per medium box of fries, and half of it is empty. You might say that's not ethical, you might have your views on that, but I'm just saying these are the little things that people do. So 25p, but really and truly it's not really 25p, it's probably 15p because half of it is empty. And all you need to do is push the bit at the bottom, and then suddenly it looks like a full box of fries, right? So that's what I mean by packaging makes a lot of difference to how your food looks to the customer and how much savings you're making as a business. So be careful about the packaging you use, that it doesn't look like it's empty. Make sure you use packaging that makes it look like, oh, it's a lot of food, but it's really not a lot of food. It's all about food engineering. So that's what I have to say about that. When you also think about your typical, so when you think about your 4 pound, let's go back to the calculation, 4 pounds for the bag of fries, and then you have your medium box that's apparently cost you 25 pence. You then need to think about how much is this packaging, how much is the oil that you use in frying it, how much is the gas if you're using gas, how much is the gas that you use in frying it, and probably electricity, and then probably petrol to deliver it to the customer if you're offering delivery. I would suggest QuickBooks could help you with your mileage. So if you want to calculate the mileage from your home, because I'm told this is specifically answering the question for the people that asked me the question, how do you price the items if they're setting up a business from home? So how do you price the item from your home to the customer's address, or how do you price the items from the restaurant to the customer's address? If you put in the mileage in their QuickBooks, if you register with QuickBooks, they have something that helps them. It's called a mileage tracker. It would automatically tell you on average how much the petrol cost is, and I definitely love that a bit of accounting. So what I just do is every time I have a delivery, I just put it in, put the customer's postcode in, and I put obviously the default address is obviously Yettis Kitchen in Manchester, and it automatically says. So typically within 3 miles, it would normally say about £1.25 is for that delivery. So you might want to think about charging delivery charges, maybe £2 or £3 to your customer for every delivery. Even though they're 5 minutes away from you, it's still petrol. So you need to think of the cost of the petrol. So obviously, like I said, you might buy this packaging, maybe 500 of it. You could buy it for £15, right? So you got 25p for your fries, £15 for 500 of that. Let's calculate that. So if you have 500 divided by 15, so that's 33 pence. So that's 33 pence. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's too much of a glare. Yeah, there's too much of a glare. But anyway, 33 pence plus 0.25. That then 0.33 plus 0.25. That brings us to 58 pence, right? So that means your fry box plus your fries comes to 58 pence. Good. Then your oil. How much oil are you using? That's a hit and miss because obviously I buy a 25-liter keg of oil. How many times do I use it? And in Yettis Kitchen, we reuse our oil, meaning the oil that we use in frying the chips might end up in our Jell-O Fries. So I can't really put a figure to how much oil I'm using, but you can measure it to say, okay, in a 25-liter keg of oil, I use about 1/4 cup, which is 60 ml of oil. I would imagine this is enough oil to fry this much chips. This is just making an average now. So when you're talking about 60 ml of oil, how many 60 mLs can you get out of a 25-liter keg of oil? Once you calculate that, which is, I don't know, 60 ml, I go to Google, mate. I'm not your maths teacher. 60 divided by 25 liters. How many mLs can you get in 25 liter? It's saying it's 2.4. I don't know what 2.4 is, but I'm just going to give it an approximate, say 20p. I'm just putting off the top of my head. A lot of it is approximates because that 25 liter cost me about £10. So how many of that? How many 1/4 cups of oil can come out of a 25 liter? You calculate that and you add it to your 58 pence. That gas, you look at your average bill per month on your gas. At the moment in Yettis Kitchen, our 3 monthly bill, every 3 months we get charged £80 on average for gas. And imagine we're constantly cooking every single day. We're open 7 days a week, and that's £80. So I would divide it. So that's 369. So that's 90 days divided by 80. So 80 divided by 90. So it's costing us on average 80p per day for gas. So 80p per day, and we're open for on average 9 hours. So divided by 9. So we're spending on average 9p per hour on gas. So 9p per hour, so 0.58 plus 9. 0.58 plus 0.9. No. 0.58 plus 0.09 brings me to 67, right? Brings me to 67 pence. So 67 pence is my fry packaging, my fries, my gas, and what else do I have to think of? Let's think of about postage, but obviously we're charging postage directly to the customer. So 67 pence. Electricity, I could probably put it at 9 pence as well. So plus 0.09 brings me to 76 pence. What else? So gas, electric, fries, packaging. That is literally it. So it's costing you 76 pence per fry, but medium fry box, right? It's costing you 76 pence. And then let's think about staff. You put about staff. I don't know. Minimum wage is about £8.76, £8.75. Divided by, I don't know, how long did it take the person to fry the chips? Did it take them 2 minutes? £8.75 divided by 2 minutes. You then find out how much you're actually paying them per minute, and then you add it to your 0.76, and literally you keep doing that, and it just applies to everything. So you can imagine, whilst they were doing the fries, they probably were turning the plantain, they probably were putting the ketchup for the customer on the side because the customer asked for extra ketchup, they probably were washing a plate in the meantime. So can you really charge the £2 for the can you really charge 30p per member of staff to fry the chips when that 30p was also spread across 3 different customers? Because I was frying plantain, I was cooking some rice, I turned the rice on fire, I put a bit of ketchup on the side for a different customer. So that's like 4 different customers the person was prepping their food in 2 minutes, and you really want to charge a whole 20 pence to just a bag of fries. If you want to do that, to make it an approximate, it's better to put too much on your pricing than to put too little. So what I'm saying is 76 pence, but let's just charge it at 20p for that 2 minutes that the cost that the member of staff spent on that box of fry. So that's plus 0.20. That brings us to 96 pence, and that, I think that 20p is a very high cost, because like I said, that member of staff was doing 1,000,001 other things whilst attending to the chips. They were probably getting a burger ready for somebody else. They were cooking like 3 burgers at the same time, flipping the burgers whilst dealing with the chips. So you can't really charge 20p for this fry when that was cut across other meals as well. But anyways, like I said, just put 20p. I just did because it's £8.76 you're trying to get to. So £8.76 per hour, which is the minimum wage in the UK. So you just figure it out, just approximates. So 96 pence. So that's a bag of that's a box of fries, and there you go. It's costing you 96 pence. So on average, you might want to charge. I would suggest you should put 50% on top as your profit. So 96% is your cost. So you put 50% on top of that. If you are looking for me to do the maths for that, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do the maths for that. But what I'm just saying is, typically I would then probably make it £1.50. Since it's 96 pence as a cost, I'll then make it £1.50 for my bag of fries or my medium box of fries, because you also want to be fair. If your competitors are charging £1.45, £1.30 for a medium box, what you don't want to do is charge £2. What is in your fries? What's so special about your fries? Except you're putting skin on fries, or maybe you're doing something special, then yes, you can charge £2, £2.50. But your competitors are charging £1.50, £1.30 for a medium box of fries. So be careful on your pricing. So that's that for English menu. When we come to Jell-O Fries, let me look at my menu here, so I can prove to you that, you know, that's a bit more complex. So I'm talking about oil, onions, derica, which is your tomato puree, plum tomatoes, that's 4. And then I have onions again. I have sweet pointed peppers that I put in my Jell-O Fries. I have aroma all-purpose. I have aroma crayfish. I have dry pepper. I have curry powder. I have thyme. I have bay leaves. I have hot water. Do I charge for water to put in the rice? The water that I use to wash the rice, do I charge for that? Or I want to get all anal and get all extra with my charges? But I'm just saying. And then I have my YK smoky flavor that I put into Jell-O Fries. I have the onions again. I put it on the gas, which is a cost. I then put what's this? And then I put all-purpose again. And then lastly, I put oil. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll probably say about 16 items on there. How exactly do you charge for it? So my first things first is when I'm cooking my rice, which is always, like I said, how much people just think to themselves, it's got a whole bag of rice. How do I measure each bowl of rice that I'm giving the customer in this? What I do is I measure my rice. So this is a 500 ml, I believe. I don't know, but it might be 500, it might be 600. This is a typical 500 ml Chinese bowl that the Chinese used to serve their rice. I measure this, I put it on my electronic scale. I've got an electronic scale here. It's Salter, it's called Salter, and it measures in grams, it measures in pounds, and it measures in kg. So get yourself an electronic scale, get yourself a measuring spoon. I got this from Morrison. It has 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon, 1/4, and 1/5. So all of this is also measured in 5 ml, which is milliliters or whatever. And then I also have this, which is what I use to measure the bulkier items. So we have here a cup. So if you're going to say, oh, I want to cook a cup of rice, this is your best friend in terms of measuring a cup of rice. So this is a cup of rice, which is 250 ml. If I don't know what 250 ml is, I just pour it in here and then I measure it on my electronic scale. So there's many ways you can work around this. So literally, I go through the whole bag of rice. I normally use different. I normally use Asley, or I could use Tolly Boy, depends on what the customer is asking for. And I measure the whole bag of rice. Yes, I measure the whole bag of rice. I measure the whole bag of rice using this, which is how many cups. How many 1 cups? This is 250 ml. How many 250 mils can I get in 1 bag of Tolly Boy? But you really don't need to do that. If you really think about it, 1 Tolly Boy is 20 kg. I remember that off the top of my head. 1 Tolly Boy bag is 20 kg, right? So you just need to go to Google again, which is how many 250 mils can I get in 20 kg? And that tells you the price. And then obviously that 20 kg, I normally buy it for, I don't know, is it 11 or 12 pounds? I can't remember now. 12 pounds for a bag of rice. So how many 250 mils can I get in 20 kg? And then maybe I can get, I don't know, 80 cups of rice from a 20 kg. 80 cups of rice divided by my 12 pounds that I bought the Tolly Boy. That's how you find out how much is each cup of rice, right? Better still, and let's remember, sorry for the loud noise. Let's remember, this bowl of rice that you get from your Tolly Boy doubles. On average, if you're buying Tolly Boy, it might triple because Tolly Boy grows in size. Asley is fine basmati. It would probably double in size and might not. You might just get, when you measure Asley, what you put in it is what you get out of it. Tolly Boy, on the other side, it doubles, so you might get three bowls of, if you put this in Tolly Boy, if you cook this bowl of Tolly Boy, you could get 3 of that from just this bowl. So you need to bear that in mind. So you can't exactly say, after 20 kg, I got 80 to 50 meals from it. It might be 80 times 3 because Tolly Boy doubles in size when you cook it. So remember that, rice doubles. So obviously, whatever you apparently come to as an 80, maybe 80 cups comes out of the 20 kg, remember to then multiply it by 2 as a safe measurement to say, okay, 8 times 2 is 16, so I actually got 160 cups from a 20 kg bag. And then obviously you get to know the price based on the 12 pound that you bought the whole bag. Get it? So obviously you also have your tomatoes, and the reason why I put this here is I've also got my Maggi seasoning here. This is definitely something that I put in my Jell-O Fries as well. But one thing you must remember, this is just a cube, right? It's just a cube. You look on there and it says 100 cubes. Look on there, it says 100 cubes, right? So maybe I bought this for £2, right? You go to your calculator and literally calculate it that way. So that way you get to know how much is the actual cost of your Jell-O Fries versus how much you should charge the customer. So it says 100 cubes. So I bought this, I'm just saying, I don't buy it for £2, I can't even remember now. So 2 divided by 100. So that means each cube of Maggi is 2 pence. So 2 pence plus your 160 cups of rice plus your tomatoes. How do you measure your tomatoes? It's written on there. With your tomatoes, it's grams, right? It normally shows you how many grams is in each tub of tomatoes, right? So how many grams is in there? I normally use, let me tell you. I normally use 400 grams of plum tomatoes. Yes. So I use 255 kg plus 1.275 kg. So you can see even in my recipe, right, my special Yettis kitchen recipe, I've written down the exact measurement, 1.275, literally. And to become a better chef, to become a better business person, you need to be in a place where you have the exact measurements for your meals so that when the customer comes back every time, it's the same taste. And that's exactly what differentiates big businesses from small businesses. Because with the big businesses, everywhere you go in the world, the McDonald's double cheeseburger is the same taste, supposedly, right? Versus when you go to that McDonald's down the road in Cromwell Road in Manchester, the double cheeseburger, the owner felt like putting a bit of chili. The one down here in Manchester, somebody else decided to put a bit of curry sauce. Bruh, people would be like, I'm not doing this, because they don't know what to expect. So always be in a place where you measure every single thing and you've written down, so that way your business outlasts you, it lives past you, until you get to a place where you've built a business that anyone could pick up the recipe and cook what you do. And that way, your customer walks in through the door, you can be sick and you know that your business is still running. You could be on holiday, your business is still running. But if you're in a place where this recipe is in your brain, you've not measured anything, and you say you have a business, no mate, you have a job. You've got a 9 to 5, or you've got a glorified 9 to 5. And it just puts you in a place where the day you die, that business dies because you've got everything in your head. But be in a place where, I know people could steal your ideas, people could steal your recipes, but there's something about food. It's a very spiritual thing. That's just what I think. It's a spiritual thing. So even if I gave you my recipe for Jell-O Fries, you can't cook it the same way I do. You might cook it better, you might cook it worse, but it will never taste the same. It's a spiritual thing. The way I cook my Jell-O Fries is a signature to me. And even if I gave you the recipe, hand on heart, I don't think you'd make it the same way I do. So Gordon Ramsay, he has many restaurants around the world, and he can only train the chefs to cook the food as close as possible, but it's never the same, because people cook with different temperatures. Different people cook with different pots. One might be cooking with a clay pot. Some people might be cooking with an electric cooker versus a gas cooker. All of these things make a difference to the taste of food. So all I'm just trying to say is, packaging makes a difference, and I'll try and wrap up now so that this video is not very long. So literally things as little as the Maggi that you put in, the oil, you pour it into the little thing that I mentioned. The oil, oh, how many teaspoons of oil did you use? You measure it using your spoon. You measure it using your spoon to say, oh, I use that much spoon. I use 2 tablespoons of oil. You measure it, and then like I said, how many tablespoons can you get out of 25 liters of your keg of oil that you bought? You figure it out. Google it. But all I'm saying is it's definitely possible to price every single item. Obviously, onions. How many bulbs of onions did you get in a sack of onions? You count how many. I normally buy my onions for £8, and I probably get about 30 to 40 onion bulbs in that sack. Calculate it. £8 divided by 30 onions on average, because obviously sometimes they give you 30, they might give you 25 today, they might give you 30 tomorrow. They weigh their stuff as well. They don't just decide, oh, let's give the customer 25 today, let's give the customer 30. They don't do that. They weigh it. So if they're weighing their stuff, why are you not measuring and weighing your stuff, right? And one last trick I wanted to show you is, you might be looking at this bowl of rice and saying, well, that's a lot of rice, I would charge it £6, but can I take it? Like, let me go the Nigerian way with you. Let me shock you. If I told you that this bowl of rice, I can fit it into this bowl, which is, I can fit it into this bowl, and it will look like a lot to the customer. I can fit it into this bowl, it will look like a lot to the customer. And guess what? This looks like a super large box, right? I can actually fit it in here, and it will still look like a lot to the customer. But guess what? This bowl of rice, I could sell it for £6, and I'll put it in this box and I'll sell it for £10, but it's still the same bowl. Are you getting me now? So packaging has a lot to do with your pricing of the items on your menu. So this is what because if I said to you, you could fit this into this and this into this. So typically in Yettis Kitchen, we charge £4 for anything that fits in here. Obviously, you can pour the rice in here. Somebody might just want Jell-O Fries and they don't want any meat on it. So we charge £4 for this. Somebody might want Jell-O Fries with beef and plantain. It's still the same one that fits in here, the smallest bowl that fits in here, right? So I'm just saying, I might decide to give the customer the rice in here, I might decide to give them in this, but point is, it's still the same cost to the business. So what I'm trying to say is, packaging cost is obviously packaging cost differs to the business, but what I'm trying to say is the content in the packaging still costs me the same, even though I'm putting in a smaller bowl, even if I'm putting in a bigger bowl. So you need to get comfortable to the point where if the customer is saying, oh, I just want Jell-O Fries, I don't want this. Look at that. If they say they just want Jell-O Fries, they don't want me, £4. If they say, oh, I want Jell-O Fries with plantain and beef and let's move that here. Look at that. Tell me that's not a lot of food. So what was in here is still the same thing that's in here that looks like a lot of food, and it's still the same thing that was in here for £4. So what I'm trying to say is, you've got to be wise, mate. You've got to be wise. So of course it's not being ridiculous in terms of overcharging the customer. But what I'm just trying to say is, there's many ways to price your items. Packaging makes a difference in terms of the amount of profit you have and the amount of loss you have. Where you buy your packaging from, register with the main wholesalers so you can get more out of your packaging. Go for intuitive packaging that's not obvious to the customer that they're getting less. And lastly, enjoy the ride. The chips has been smelling in my mouth. It's been smelling in my nose since. I can't come and die because I'm doing video recording. So, I hope I have taught you and not confused you. That's so good. On the reasons why your packaging makes a difference to your prices. I hope I've taught you how to go about pricing your items. And if obviously I haven't answered your questions, you've got the comment box. You got the comment box. Comment below, let me know what questions you have about pricing. Same thing applies to cheese. I do cheese sauce. In Yettis Kitchen, I pour my cheese sauce over my chips. How do you measure your cheese and how much do you charge your customer? Look on the box. On your box of cheese, it will tell you how many grams is in there. Find out how much you bought the box for. Divide it by the grams, which is okay. How many spoons do I need to make a cheese sauce per chip? I make 2 spoons per chip on average in Yettis Kitchen. How much is that 2 spoons? Calculate it. Divide. And there you go. You got your pricing. How do you measure your stew that you put on your Jell-O Fries? Same thing. Like I told you, my plum tomatoes that I use for my stew is 400 grams. Okay. How many tiny bowls of stew? Because obviously maybe this is what you used to measure your stew per Jell-O Fries. How many tiny bowls of this can I get out of 400 grams of plum tomatoes? By the time you finish adding all your Maggi, aroma, thyme, by the time you finish adding all those things and you calculate the cost of those ingredients, how many bowls of this can you get? Because you're going to be serving the customer in this to put over their white rice, or you're going to be serving them in this to put over their jollof. Okay, how many bowls of this can I get out of 400 grams of tomatoes? And you calculate it, and then you know how much is each bowl of stew. And then, like I said, whatever is your actual cost, I would suggest, some people will say 70% as profit on top of your actual cost. I don't have the conscience to do such. So I have 50%, which is, you know what, if my actual cost is £1, I put 50 pence on it. That's my profit. Rather than, because it's costing me £1, I charge £8. Some people do it. There's a famous restaurant that I stopped going to that their burgers went from £8 to £14. And then they had the audacity. To now reduce the bun, they reduced the meat, and then they were charging £14. With greatest alacrity, it became my least favorite restaurant. So what I'm just saying is, be careful with your pricing. Don't be unfair. Customer knows how to shop around. If your prices are fair, if your food is good, they will definitely contact you and want to eat your food. It's been a pleasure recording this episode. I'm terribly tired at this point. It's been the end of the day after its blessed day working in Yettis Kitchen. You know where to find me if you need some consulting. I do offer consulting. My email is food@yettiskitchen.com. If you need some mentoring, food@yettiskitchen.com. If you want to say hi, food@yettiskitchen.com. If you want to give me some feedback, food@yettiskitchen.com. Comment section, talk amongst yourselves. Let me know what videos you would like me to create next. And see you next time.